Hey guys, welcome to Husband and Wife Outdoor Life. This is a new playlist we're going to start for you guys. Today's topic will be our cook kit. As you can see on the screen here is our complete cook system. This includes a few optional items that we don't always bring on every trip, but they do make the cut on most trips. We're going to go through this piece by piece, so let's get started. Okay, so I've laid everything out so you can see it here. The first item we're going to talk about is our stove. So in order to cook meals in the backcountry, 9 times out of 10, Matt and I boil water and add it to a food pack and eat it that way. So to boil our water, we use a Mountain Safety Research or MSR PocketRocket Stove. It comes in this red case to kind of protect the stove and to keep it from clanking around on all of your gear inside your bear bag. So it just pops open just like this and slides out of there. So this is the stove itself here. It's all folded up. You just kind of stretch the little arms out. And this valve here attaches to a canister. So this is a canister style stove. This is the type of canister it would mount on. You'd remove this black cap and just twist it right on there. It boils water super fast. I'd say we're boiling water in less than 3 minutes, depending on how much we have in our pot and how cold it is outside. It's been very reliable for us. We've had no issues with it, even in cold weather. Matt and I don't typically camp in high elevation, so we don't have any experience using it at very high altitudes, but in cold weather we've had no issues so far. Like I said, super reliable, very easy to use, and absolutely no maintenance. So this has been going strong for several years now. The nice thing about it is it only weighs 3 ounces, so pretty lightweight, and we're pretty happy with it. Next up is our GSI Kettle. This came as part of the GSI Kettlist kit, which came with a spork / spoon thing that was pretty much trash, and 2 cups, which I will show you in a little bit. I think one was a cup and one was a bowl, but we use them primarily as cups. Came all together as one kit, and it all nests within the kettle itself. It makes life easy. It's a 1-liter kettle. We do prefer a kettle over a pot. You see a lot of backpackers, especially solo hikers, use small, like 750 or even 550 milliliter pots to boil their food. We like having the spout on the end here because we usually use the Mountain House packs or Packet Gourmet or something like that, and pouring water into the bags themselves is much easier with a spout on the end. This is nice. You can tell when the water's boiling inside it. Steam comes billowing out of this spout here, so you know right away. The kettle itself, I believe, is 5.8 ounces. Like I said, it holds about 1 liter of water. It's worked great on our canister stove. It sits very, very nice on the PocketRocket. You can see we've used it for a very long time and almost no wear and tear. A couple nicks here and there, but absolutely nothing on it. I've used it on a wood stove, used it on a canister stove, used it on a regular stove. Never had any issues, so really enjoy this kettle. We'll be continuing to use it this year. Next up are the cups that came with the GSI kettle. Like I said, I think they advertise it as 1 cup and 1 bowl. This koozie did not come with the kit. This is one I made with Reflectix and some aluminum tape. The one cup came with like almost like a neoprene cozy or koozie on the side. It keeps it when hot water or hot coffee or something's in here, your fingers don't burn on the edges there. So, and it kind of keeps the liquid inside nice and warm. It also came with a sipping lid, so it's got a little hole there and a ventilation hole down here at the bottom. You put it on there and you can drink your coffee without spilling, and it kind of protects your lips from burning on the edge of the plastic there. But it only came with a setup for one of the cups. So for this cup, which is Matt's, we made a little pot cozy or koozie out of Reflectix, and it works in the same manner. It protects his fingers from getting too hot with like boiling hot coffee in there. I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, probably not, but there are little lines delineating how many cups of water, how many ounces, how many milliliters. You kind of twist the cup around and find the unit that you want, so it makes measuring water real easy, especially since some food packs call for like a cup of water, some call for like 2 cups or a cup and a half, so you can use this to help you pour out your water to get the correct amount. But like I said, these nest within each other, and then they do fit inside the pot nicely, so, or the kettle rather. So that's the cups that we use. They do weigh, without this Reflectix koozie, 4.3 ounces. So with both of them, the lid and the koozie that comes with it. So they hold about 14 ounces of liquid each, which is nice. And yeah, that's the cups. We'll be continuing to use those as well. Great piece of kit. They came with the kettle. Nice piece of gear. Next up is our spoon. This is the only utensil that we take on the trail with us. Matt has one and I have one. They are titanium spoons. They're Optimus branded. They weigh 0.67 ounces or 19 grams each. They're about 8.5 inches long, which is perfect for getting down into a food bag without getting your fingers too sticky. Folks with the shorter spoons have to reach way down in the bag. You get your fingers all nasty from the food. So these make life easy. They're easy to clean. They are dishwasher safe. Next up is our mini Bic lighters. You have to have a way to light your stove in order to boil your water, in order to eat. You can get the igniters or sparkers to light your stove. I would rather have a lighter. It's a little more reliable. It's something I can start a fire with if I had to. We do bring 2, and we do keep them in this little Ziploc baggie just to protect them against rain or any sort of water or moisture. Bic lighters do have a little bit of issue if they get soaked. They have a hard time lighting, so it's always good to have a backup, especially when it's your fire starter. So we have 2. They are mini Bics, so they weigh about 0.76 ounces or a little under 22 grams each. So pretty lightweight, easy to use, and they're easy to find. Any gas station, any grocery store has them. Up next is our fuel canister. This is what our stove screws on top of. So this little black tab comes off here, and this is the valve that attaches to the stove itself. It's good to keep the little black top, keeps that valve from rusting in case it gets wet. This in particular is the MSR brand. You can use other brands. We've just always used this kind. It's IsoPro, so it's a 80-20 isobutane propane mixture. This fuel burns very clean, never had any issues with it. It's always been reliable. Used it in cold weather, warm weather, no issues. So been happy with this brand, sticking with this brand, and it works great with the stove. Obviously they're the same, made by the same company, which is good. But like I said, they're interchangeable with different kinds, so they're pretty readily available at local grocery stores. I've seen them at gas stations and definitely at outdoor stores. So that's our fuel. This red mesh bag is just something I ordered off of Amazon to kind of contain everything that we use in our cook kit, minus the kettle and the cups, which I nest together with the fuel can. So everything else that you're going to see or have seen goes into the red mesh bag. Weighs nothing because it's mesh. It sticks out in my pack, so it's easy to find. I can grab it and do a quick lunch or a quick dinner, not have any issues finding it in my pack. So I don't actually have a weight on this, but it was made by a company called Equinox. You can buy them on Amazon. They are made in the USA. And that's about it on that. The kettle came in its own black mesh bag. At one point I think they were advertising it as almost like a kitchen sink. You can put water and soap in here and help you clean up things. I've never done that with it. It has seen a little wear and tear. We do have a small hole forming at the bottom, so I'm not sure if we're going to continue to use the mesh bag or not. It is nice to kind of keep everything contained, but I found that a rubber band around this works just as good and is lighter than this, so I might be dumping this, but for now it still works. So next up is our bear bagging kit. This is a kit put together by Z-Packs. It's a great cottage industry company. Been very happy with all of their products that I've ever purchased from them. This is a new one for us. Typically we would use a Sea to Summit bear bag, and I just had some generic 550 cord and like a mesh bag similar to the red one that we just talked about for our bear bag system. So this is new for this year. This is the Z-Pack system. This is a roll top Cuban fiber bag. It's made from heavy duty 1.43 ounce per square yard Cuban fiber, and it weighs 1.4 ounces. So it is a roll top bag that does seal with Velcro, and then once you've got it rolled down, you clip it just like you would a normal roll top bag. And then it comes with a little mini carabiner, which is extremely small, but does hold the weight of your bear bag nicely. So this is, like I said, a new product for us, so I haven't tried it yet. It's going to get its inaugural trip here at the end of the month, so I'm excited to give it a shot. It is a little bit different shape than our other Sea to Summit bag. Sea to Summit was more like a cylinder. This is more square shaped, so I think it's going to fit in my pack a little bit nicer. I typically carry the food, and Matt typically carries the shelter system, and that's kind of how we divvy up the weight. But this should slide in a little bit better in my pack, so I'm excited to try that out. It also came with the rock bag that you use to toss over the tree limb before you hook your food bag to it. So this is the rock bag itself, which weighs 0.1 ounce, so extremely lightweight. Inside I have 50 feet of 2.2 millimeter slick cord, Z-line slick cord. This weighs 1.4 ounces, is extremely lightweight compared to the generic 550 cord that I had been using. I do like the orange color. I remember on one of our first trips, Matt and I used like a green or a black line, and it was really difficult to see in the tree, and it was hard to tell if it was going over the limb or getting hung up or what. I couldn't tell because it was getting dark. I switched to orange 550 cord, and it has worked great for us for many years. And now we're going to switch to this slick cord, which is also orange, so I'm excited about that. It's supposed to slide easily, not stretch, and it's extremely lightweight. So I'm excited to try this out. You'll get a full review by the end of March when it takes its first trip. So all of that, extremely lightweight. The total weight for everything, including the little carabiner, is only 3 ounces. So I mean, that's probably like a fourth of what my old system weighed, or even less than that probably. So So I just talked to you about all the essentials that we take. Everything along the outer edge here is things that we take on every single trip, no exceptions. The stuff in front of me here, directly in front of me right here, is our kind of optional, dependent on trip, not necessarily necessary. So we're going to go over those pieces now. First up is the MSR canister stand. This has been a great addition to our kit. We found that the canister with the stove, with the kettle on top, on uneven ground can be a little bit unstable. So we actually found this, which creates a base for our canister to sit on. Even on unlevel ground, it's a lot more stable because you got a few more inches of coverage on the ground. So I'll show you how the canister slides in there. And it fits the different size canisters too, not just the little one here. So you just kind of clip it on the prongs. See how it's hooked in all three sides, and this black lever slides so you can adjust it to a bigger can if you had to. And it just creates a more stable surface for the whole system, which is nice. So it's a lot safer. We do carry this 90% of the time. The only time I don't now is when I forget it on accident. So it only weighs 1.2 ounces. For me, totally worth it. This is our, what you would call, I guess, kitchen sink. So this is optional because usually Matt and I just boil water on our trips, so we don't actually cook in our kettle or in our pot, so we don't usually have to do dishes. A lot of our trips are also overnighters, so even if our spoons get a little gross, we're only going to be using them once or twice, so it's no big deal. We can just wash them when we get home, so there's no sense in carrying all this weight when we're just going to be walking home, and we can wash it there. So, but in the event that we take a longer trip, or we have a meal plan that requires cooking in the pot, or we have a particular meal in like one of the bags that is extremely cheesy, like for example the lasagna with meat sauce by Mountain House, the cheese will stick to the spoon and just cake right on there. So it's good to have something to kind of wash that off. Oops. So our options for our kitchen sink, this is the MSR Alpine brush and pot scraper. You can use this to scrape out your pot. It does come with a little hole punched in it, so I guess you can tie some paracord in there so you don't lose it. It has a soft bristle brush on one side, like a rubber grip on there. It is kind of heavy. I mean, it's 0.8 ounces for a tool that's not 100% necessary. So, but it is nice. It has come in handy several times. I do bring it occasionally. Like I said, especially if you're cooking an actual meal. I have switched to, instead of bringing this, unless I really need the brush for some reason, just a small sponge. So this is just a regular size sponge cut down to a small piece. Like I said, I'm typically only cleaning my spoon. I don't have to clean my pot because I only put water in there. So I don't need a big gigantic sponge, so just this little one does the trick, which is nice. So you can just cut down a regular sponge, your kitchen sponge. Container here, I think I bought this at REI. They're like just a couple cents. It's got the squirt bottle top. This is Camp Suds, I think, peppermint soap in there, so it's kind of a multi-purpose soap. It is biodegradable. I don't always bring soap. It's not good to use soap in the backcountry, especially in or near water sources. You have to deal with the soapy water afterwards. How do you get rid of it? How do you pack it out? How do you leave no trace? So this definitely is an optional tool. Again, I'm only bringing this if I'm going on a longer trip. It does not come on overnighters. Don't need soap. If you do, put it in a different container, repackage it. You don't need the big gigantic container that it comes in. Just put a little bit in a container like this. This is even quite a bit here. I actually filled this for a car camping trip for doing dishes, but you probably only need like a third of this really. It's extremely concentrated. You don't need more than a couple drops on your sponge to clean like your spoons off, or even your pot for that matter. So again, these are optional. This is the kitchen sink. Sometimes I bring it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I only bring certain pieces. It's going to depend on the trip. Going along the same vein, while doing dishes, or if doing dishes, you may want a towel to dry off your stuff that you're cleaning. This is a pack towel. I think the company name is actually Pack Towel. This is the medium size in the kelp color, so it's actually quite large. You could get away with a small for this purpose. I do bring this actually on quite a few trips. It's kind of a multi-purpose item. I don't just use it in our cook kit. Sometimes our tent needs to be wiped down. Maybe there's some condensation on the outside. Maybe I want to just clean off my face or take a quick swim. Whatever the case may be, it's a quick dry towel. It does pack up extremely small, which is nice. And then it has this little tab on the end with a button. I don't know if you can see that. It clips into the corner here, so you can hang it from your bare line or from a tree branch or whatever to help it dry out. So these are nice. It's a good multi-use item. It only weighs 2 ounces. It's like a poly nylon blend. It's microfiber. It's extremely soft. I've used it a ton. It is machine washable, although I don't dry it. I hang it to dry. I don't stick it in the dryer. But it does dry super fast. Very pleased with this item. It is optional. Obviously you don't need a towel, but I do bring it on most of our trips. And last but not least is our Packet Gourmet Cookin' Cozy. So what this is basically like an insulated lunchbox. So it unfolds here. And inside is like almost like a Reflectix type material. So what this is used for is when you've got your dehydrated, Packet Gourmet meal, and you just put the boiling water in it. You stick it in here while it's rehydrating and close the lid and let it sit. And it holds the heat in, so your food rehydrates a lot better. I found it rehydrates a lot quicker as well. So they are pretty lightweight. They're only 1.4 ounces. The only downside is they are a little bit bulky, but I found that to really not be an issue. At one point I was using it kind of as a container to hold all of our stuff here, but it's actually a little too bulky just to do that, because it is about the size of a lunchbox. So it actually fits better folded up like this inside the red bag with everything else in here. So these are cool. Definitely use it. Not all the time, but especially in the wintertime, they're fantastic for rehydrating food in cold weather. So check them out. It's a good brand of food too. Okay. Press air from bag, zip securely, give shake. Place in the cooking. 10 minutes. Mark the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get everything packed up for you, because that's the end of each individual piece. But I just kind of want to show you how it all fits together back into the tiny little packages. So here we go. So that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to doing the next one with you. The next topic should be our shelter, so we're going to talk a little bit about our tents and our tarps and how we decided on what we use now. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next adventure and our next gear talk.